this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
My name is Pastor Roger, pastor here at Westminster Presbyterian Church. I'm excited to read you a story today. Have any of you ever gone to a county fair or a state fair? Our book today is called A Day at the Fair. When I was about 6 years old, my pa promised that the whole family could go with him to the county fair in the next county. He wanted to attend the cattle auction. I hear there is a cooking and sewing exhibit for the ladies, he said to Ma. You will enjoy that. I was so excited I could hardly wait for that day to come. The day of the fair, we were there before daybreak to have breakfast and get started. I was in such a hurry to leave that I didn't want to finish the meal. But Ma said I'd better eat it all. After breakfast, Pa reached for the Bible. Oh, Pa, I protested. Why aren't you going to take time? Why are you going to take time for prayer this morning? Pa looked at me with surprise. God always comes first in this house, Mabel. We want to start our day by talking to him. Well, I don't, I replied crossly. Mom didn't punish me for my sassy answer. She just looked at me and said quietly, all right, Mabel, you won't need to pray this morning. As we started out, somehow the day didn't seem quite as exciting to me. I knew I'd behaved badly, but as we neared the fairgrounds, I began to think of the fun I would have. The first thing I wanted to do was find Sarah Jane. You won't have to look very far, Mom replied. I see her standing by the buggies, waiting for you. Sarah Jane was hopping from one foot to the other with excitement. Hurry, Mabel, she said. I've been waiting and waiting for you. What took you so long? I started to say that we had to just pray before we could leave, but thought better of it. We're here now, I said. Let's go. We ran off toward the big tent that held the cooking and sewing exhibit, and our mothers followed close behind. See here? It's before they had cars. They had horses and buggies. Oh, Sarah Jane exclaimed, we'll never see all this. I don't know. There are so many quilts here. Oh, have you ever seen so many things? For a long time, Sarah Jane and I walked along with our mothers, looking at the displays and pointing out what we liked best. Shortly before noon, the ladies sat down to rest. May we go outside and look around, Ma? I asked. I guess that could be all right, but don't go out of sight of the tents, will you? Oh no, she promised. We'll stay right close by. Near the edge of the grounds, Sarah Jane stopped and grabbed my hand. Look, Mabel, do you see that? She pointed toward the big trees. What is it? Maybe a calf from the animal tent? Sarah Jane just shook her head. I don't think so. It looks like a fawn to me. Let's go see. Quietly, we tiptoed toward the trees. It was a little fawn, and it was watching us. He doesn't seem to be afraid, I said. As we came closer, the fawn turned and started into the woods. But he walked slowly and let us keep in his sight. Isn't he pretty? Sarah Jane exclaimed. I wish he'd stop and let us pet him. We followed the fawn for a long time. Finally, he disappeared from sight, and we decided we'd better get back. We've come a long way, I said. I can't see the edge of the woods from here. What if we go in the wrong direction? You can't go in the wrong direction if you just turn around from the way we've been going, Sarah Jane said. And to prove it, she turned around and started back. I followed. We walked on for what seemed like a long time. Then Sarah Jane stopped. "We don't seem to be going anyplace," she said. "I don't think we walked this far." "You mean you don't know the way back? You acted like you did." "Well, I guess we didn't turn around far enough," Sarah Jane admitted. "We'd better stop and think about it a minute." The woods didn't seem as friendly anymore. "Sarah Jane," I said, "I'm getting sort of worried. Besides, I'm awful hungry. Do you suppose they'll go ahead and eat without us?" "Probably," Sarah Jane replied glumly. "They won't know we went away from the grounds. We were sure dumb to follow that fawn." We stood for a few minutes, starting into the woods. Then Sarah Jane said, "I think we'd better pray about it. The Lord can help us find the way back." Suddenly I remembered that I had refused to pray that morning. Now I was sorry and ashamed to ask God for help. "You pray," I said to Sarah Jane as we sat down. "You pray." "Dear Lord, please send someone to find us," she prayed. "Thank you." "Now what shall we do?" she asked. "Paul told us that if we ever got lost in our woods, we should sit still until someone finds us. Maybe we better do that in this woods too." "I guess so. We didn't do much good moving around, so we better just stay right here." It seemed like we sat on that log for hours. We sang all the songs we knew and recited all the poems we'd learned. "Do you suppose we had better remind God that we're still here?" Sarah Jane asked. "I don't think we need to. I'm sure He's already told our folks where we are." "I wish they would hurry up and come then," Sarah Jane said. It must be almost night. Finally, both of us fell asleep. The next thing we knew, we were being picked up by strong arms and carried toward the fairgrounds. "I knew you'd come," I said to Pa. "We asked the Lord to send someone. Did He tell you where to find us?" "Yes, I'm sure He did," Pa replied, "and I'm glad you remembered to stay in one place." "Pa," I said, "I'm sorry I didn't pray this morning. I won't ever do that again." Pa hugged me, and I knew he had forgiven me.